hyper-local organizations, hyper-local e-commerce startups started to become very popular. All of them became possible because they didn't have to invest the capital for their scale-ups, for being able to scale on the hardware and building, all these infrastructures and data centers and all of that. So under cloud is brilliant and beautiful, right? It changes the way you are thinking about any of these solutions. अभी databases का कोई expert है यहाँ पे, तो he is setting up a new space for your existing tables and expanding that is a big task. आप जाते हैं, आप जाके एक एक फाइल कहाँ पे क्रिएट होगी, वो एक एक जाके चेंज करते हैं, फिर उसकी स्टोरेज चेंज करते हैं, फिर उसकी अमाउंट चेंज करते हैं, फिर वो कितना हर दफ़ा एक्सपैंड होगा उसको चेंज करते हैं. यू गो थ्रू ऑल ऑफ दैट हेडेक, राइट? एंड देन अगर वो स्पेस यूज़ होती है नहीं यूज़ होती, वो बुक हो गई आपकी ज़्यादातर. इमेजिन अरोरा ऑन AWS doing that automatically for you. Cloud has already existed for a very long period of time, but it is the advancement of the total ecosystem within cloud that is changing every day. And सबसे ज़्यादा investment कि कौन कर रहा है इस ecosystem के ऊपर? वो कर रहा है AWS, right? In terms of their centers, their availability, their POPs. एक जो नई change आएगी, do you guys know? I'm going to end that session. I think काफी लंबा हो गया. Can you guys imagine what the next change is going to be because of the services available on cloud in coming days, coming years? 5G, edge computing services, 5G, cloud. इन तीन के combination के साथ the way everything is operating around IoT and the services and devices and last mile deliveries and GPS and maintenance of the vehicle, all of that will change. So we as an organization have to, what we cannot do is try and run after that opportunity once it has started. What you do is get ready for that wave to start to rise, right? And if you want to be ready for any next wave, it is AI, ML, edge computing services, and anything that changes the way you are thinking about solution. When 5G is available, 54 kbps और 4G वाली कहानी है. 5G के साथ वो और change हो जाएगी, right? Amount of data that you can move between two locations over 5G immensely changes. तो आपकी सारी की सारी solutioning, idea of the solutioning, idea of innovation on the products, वो सारा कुछ बदल जाएगा, right? So I think under the cloud started with very basic services and it continuously growing, and it will not end. I don't think in the latest world there is any organization that will not have a product or element of the cloud being utilized by them now and any time in future. I don't think so. And all these big large companies like AWS and Azure and all of Alibaba and all of these, they will exist in the form of the छोटी जो cloud की companies थी, जैसे Rackspace था, because it is also about investment into allied services that they provide, the ecosystem that they provide, और उस सारी की सारी चीज़ों के अंदर जैसे आजकल एक नया ट्रेंड है which is no code. वो नो कोड क्यों स्टार्ट हुआ है? बिकॉज स्किल की अवेलेबिलिटी नहीं है. तो यू कैन राइड दैट वेव बाय मेकिंग श्योर कि यू प्रिपेयर योरसेल्फ फॉर एनी ऑफ ऑल ऑफ दीज थिंग्स, राइट? एंड बी रेडी विद दैट एंड स्टॉप टू थिंक अबाउट कि दुनिया के अंदर सॉल्यूशंस जो है ना वो लिमिटेड है बाय इन एनी वे. आई मीन इमेजिन आज से I met this professor at FAST who had worked with a data center that had Cray supercomputers available to them. So that was God for us, right? For as a student in computing environment, हमारे पास 486 और वो Cray computers के ऊपर काम करके आए हुए हैं. He was God for us, right? That being available to all of you right now, go and pay for it and start to write algorithms that are supercomputing ready. Imagine the power that you guys have in your hands right now in terms of solutioning, and stop thinking in the old ways of devising the solutions and start to think about how can you utilize these new technologies in your day-to-day solution delivery and problem solving situations, right? So with that, if you guys have any questions around all of these things, I'm right here, please.
Web 3.0 का कॉन्सेप्ट यूज करने वाला चीज़ें मूव करेंगे तो क्लाउड इसके साथ कंपेटेबल होगा कि क्लाउड
अच्छा, वेब 3.0 मेटा के उसके साथ बहुत ज़्यादा हाइप है उसकी. मेटा हैज़ ऑलरेडी साइंड अप विद AWS to utilize its cloud computing services. So I think all of that will. अच्छा, वेब 3.0 का ऑनसेट जो है ना वो 5G और डेटा की ट्रांसफ़र की हाई अवेलेबिलिटी होने से बहुत ज़्यादा रिलेटेड है. सो क्लाउड एंड कंप्यूटिंग विल एग्जिस्ट, द ट्रांसपोर्ट विल चेंज to allow you to wear those VRs and run those 3D meshes and all of that and transfer that data very quickly to allow Web 3.0 to grow. So बाकी सर्विसेज शायद अवेलेबल हैं, बट 5G के साथ आपकी जो कम्युनिकेशन है ऑफ हाई डेटा ट्रांसफर रेट्स हैं, उसके साथ जो सॉल्यूशंस हैं कॉम्प्लेक्स हो सकते हैं, ज़्यादा कॉम्प्लेक्स हो सकते हैं, राइट. एक 3D की इसको डेटा को ट्रांसफ़र करने के लिए एक इस रूम की डेफिनेशन के लिए आपको चंद हज़ार मिलियन ट्रायंगल्स का डेटा मूव करना पड़ेगा, राइट. मल्टीपल लेयर्स की इंफॉर्मेशन मूव करनी पड़ेगी. दैट्स लार्ज अमाउंट ऑफ डेटा, राइट, टू बी एक्सचेंज. एंड स्पेशली इफ यू आर मूविंग अराउंड and you want to transfer that data across two worlds, I mean either be or US can there be, then changes all of that. So I think Web 3.0 is those guys getting ready for the next wave. Like I told you guys, the next wave to get ready is for all the things that 5G will enable for good number of guys.
मेन सवाल मेरा ये था, एक और सवाल है, क्लाउड सेंट्रलाइज के ऊपर बेस करता है तो Web 3.0 का मेन कॉन्सेप्ट की ब्लॉकचेन के ऊपर, ब्लॉकचेन पीयर टू पीयर, सिमिलर स्ट्रेटजीज की क्लैश आ गया.
Why blockchain can't be on cloud?
Yeah, hey guys. So your question is regarding how Web 3.0 and cloud will cooperate to create scalable application. So basically, AWS is very much scalable and it's on serverless. There are a lot of services that are serverless. So the application that are decentralized, that is using blockchain network to store data and other transactions. You know, everyone knows the Web 3.0 and is based on the ledger system, right? The blockchain is basically a ledger system that is revolutionized again. And depending upon peer-to-peer transactions, all the transactions are stored on peer-to-peer network. For example, his computer is storing the transaction. So AWS services and AWS applications can fully support Web 3.0 decentralized application as well. AWS will provide all the serverless databases, all the NoSQL databases, every infrastructure that ever needs to create decentralized applications.
They have blockchain service as well.
Yeah, so even AWS also knows blockchain managed service as well. You can create your own blockchain to fully support and fully basically create the whole application in the whole AWS ecosystem environment.
So
other than that,
what is happening in your mind? You are thinking about peer-to-peer as to peer-to-peer in the houses. मेरे पास एक कंप्यूटर है, उसके पास एक और है, उसके पास एक और है. Why can't that be on the cloud? You could build a blockchain network based on the cloud services available to you. So it's all related. I mean, do not contain yourself in thinking कि peer-to-peer सिर्फ और सिर्फ आप सबके घरों में एग्जिस्ट करता होगा और आपने वो लगाया हुआ होगा तो तभी एग्जिस्ट करता है. You could be 30 million people getting those services off the cloud cheaper as hell compared to buying your own machines to enable that, or utilizing your energy to actually enable that. Any other questions?
देखिए ट्रेंड देखा है, एक्सेल की बात करते हैं, एक्सेल प्रो क्लाउड, एक्सेल कैपेबल क्लाउड सर्विसेज देनी है, फिर एक्सेल के एजर की तरफ AWS के ऊपर ये थर्ड पार्टी रिलायंस के एक्सेल, मतलब इसकी शिफ्ट की वजह क्या है?
दोबारा रिपीट कीजिएगा.
NetSol is नेटसेल इतनी बड़ी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है कि अपनी क्लाउड सर्विसेज खुद दे सकते हैं अपनी ऐप्स को डिप्लॉय करने के लिए, लेकिन नेटसेल ने दो डिफरेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन
ecosystem, the amount of money that they're spending on creating that ecosystem, and IBM could not hold at, मैंने दरम्यान में बताया था, IBM ने अपना क्लाउड सर्विसेज का बिजनेस बंद करके प्रोफेशनल सर्विसेज AWS अलायंस के साथ स्टार्ट कर दिया. Why is that? Because that और GCP हर साल देख लीजिएगा जाके, आई थिंक क्लोज ही होएगा, $19 billion लूज कर रहा है ऑन देयर क्लाउड सर्विसेज just to remain in the game, right? So could we afford to lose $19 billion every year? Right? So that's the answer. It's placing yourself correctly according to your size, I think. Once we are 10,000 people and all of that, we will start building something for our own customers and have our own private cloud and क्या बोलते हैं उसको, availability zones in areas where it's not on fault lines and extremely high bandwidth connectivity between the data centers, and I don't know, bomb-proof gates of 7 levels, and people cannot go and touch the computers, and services where if you take a hard drive out, it automatically gets destroyed, and all the imaginary things we could think of running a data center. Then yes, we can.
So if you're done with that.
Yeah.
We just said that there will be a team of within NetSol we have a team. Cloud team is specific area में focus कर रहे हैं to provide us with professional services like on is focusing on infrastructure or platform or software. The overall software we currently focusing.
So we'll have C teams in all the areas. As we start to see the pipelines build up, then each C team will continue to grow depending on किस side से हमें ज़्यादा demand produce होती है. So we'll have C teams for data pipelines, we'll have C team for DevOps, infrastructure, security, and all of these application modernization. So as we start to see opportunities coming in on database migration, we'll start to expand all these C teams accordingly.
What are the expectations like what we foresee? What will be the most demanding area?
देखिए हर एरिया में बहुत ज़्यादा डिमांड है. इस वक्त तो लाइक आई सेड एक्यूट शॉर्टेज है, एंड the more we produce, the better. If you produce 400 people today, I think by next year they all be utilized.
Can you please share some insights on how new people can join cloud service department or AWS Premier?
New people can join. There is a new policy that was recently announced by HR. I think you got to look at that and see what how the mechanics of that happening will work for your existing teams, because that also has to function, and then you have to have at least some level of, so if you have a desire and interest in doing something, you'll put in extra effort to get to a certain basic level, right? So to be able to do that, just make sure that there's enough material available through ICANN and freely available nowadays on internet, everywhere, YouTube. You build your knowledge up to a level to show that you have that higher desire, right? To be able to, for us to be able to say that yes, you're coming with desire and interest, and you have put in effort to help us see that as well, and then utilize HR to actually how that process will work and integrate. That's how they can do it. So done. Thank you. Thanks a lot. It took a lot more time than was planned, but thanks a lot for everybody for coming in and being patient with that.